Hey guys, and welcome back to the Coder's Legacy channel. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how we can customize fonts inside Matplotlib. Alright, so by default, the fonts are pretty great. The default font and text, it's pretty nice. But as always, we need to sometimes customize our application. Either this is because we just don't like the default font, or whether it's so that we can match with the rest of our application, which may be using a different font. Okay, that's possible. So how do we do this? Well, I've actually been through several methods. I've seen several techniques which people use to change the fonts in Matplotlib, and I didn't like most of them. They seemed a bit overly complicated, and let me just tell you, one of them was a very common technique I kept seeing, which involved installing the font onto the system itself, making it available across the system. Okay, now the problem with this approach is that it's a bit needlessly complicated, especially if it's just for personal use. And even if you're giving it to someone, if you're distributing your application, unless you already have an installer or something for your software, it's going to be a bit annoying if your user has to, install a font before he can use your program, right? So that's just what I wanted to tell you guys in this video. I'm going to show you a technique that doesn't involve, having to install a font. Now look, here I have in my Matplotlib tutorials folder, I have two fonts, okay, and we'll be practicing with these throughout this tutorial, okay? So I just have these downloaded, they're not installed or anything, alright? And you can install any font, by the way. Sorry, you can use any font with the technique I'm about to tell you. It's possible that there may be compatibility issues, but other than that, these should work across the board, alright? I'll leave some download links for these fonts as well. Basically a link to my website, and you can download it from there. Okay, so yeah, let's begin. So the first thing I'll do is actually from Matplotlib import font manager. Okay, so we're gonna use this to install our fonts. Well, not install, more like just add them into Matplotlib. All right, and down here or up here, I'm going to create a variable called font_dirs. Okay, and over here I'm going to put a file path to my Matplotlib folder. All right, so let me just copy paste this, and tutorials Matplotlib. Okay, and now I'm going to create a variable called font files and do font manager dot find system fonts. So we're basically gonna search for fonts. We're gonna make a Matplotlib search for fonts inside this folder. Okay, font paths is equal to font_dirs. Okay, this is the file path. Okay, and this is a command that's making Matplotlib search and return the font files. And we'll also include a font files print statement here. Okay, just to help us debug. Now I'm gonna add them, okay, because this doesn't add them, it just searches for them, so we need to actually add them. So I'm gonna do for font file in font files, okay, font hold on, what is it, font manager dot font manager. I think there's a font manager class in here or something like this. This part was a bit tricky. Okay, dot add font file. I hope there hasn't been any version updates or something, because I've updated my Matplotlib since then. All right, so plt.rc params now, and don't worry, I'll explain all this code as we, once we have our output up and running. Okay, font.family. Okay, now that we've added our font, we need to basically select it. Okay, plt.rc params again. RC params, all right. And font size. Okay, we need to specify two things: font family and font size. All right, so let's add in some actual text. We'll do plt.title and then add custom fonts as in Matplotlib as the title. Okay, Then we'll do plt.x label, and we'll do x-axis label. And then we'll do plt.y label, and then we'll do y-axis label. If I run this code, we get an error. Okay, so I'll just do this because I'm pretty sure this escape that it's talking about is the escape characters. Sometimes I need to do this, well, most of the time actually. So just be sure to add double backslashes, okay? Because sometimes this causes problems. We need to escape it, okay? Escape characters, that's a whole separate concept. So if I run this code now, okay, looks like I made a typo over here. It's add font, small capital. And let's run our code, and hopefully this, okay, great. Here's our custom font. It looks pretty nice actually, right? We can see here that the fonts have changed, not just the labels, but the ticks as well. They've also changed. So yeah, this is how we do it. And we did this without any kind of installation or any kind of fancy, fancy work, right? This was pretty simple from start to finish, okay? So yeah, there is one more thing I want to point out, that if I do frostbite over here, it's actually not gonna work, because if I remember correctly, the name of this font is actually something else. It's actually something like frostbite. I think there's a space in here maybe. Then it's called boss fight or something, and I kind of forgot the name of this. The name that I gave it here, I actually gave it a custom name. That was actually a big mistake on my part, because its name isn't actually frostbite. And this is something that you need to figure out from the place that you download it, okay? There's a name over there, a specific name, that it's actually called, like frostbite boss fight, right? So if I run this, maybe it's gonna work, maybe it won't. Yeah, it didn't work because I've forgotten the name for this thing, so I can't make it work, unfortunately. So yeah, just be careful with that, and other than this, you can use pretty much any font, and I don't think there'll be any issues. Alright, so let me know if this worked out for you, and if there are any problems you guys may have faced. Alright, and yeah, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, because we have a lot more Matplotlib content planned, a lot more interesting content like this that I'm sure you guys will find useful. Alright, so yeah, definitely let me know. Alright, see you guys in a later video.